Who's a practice source? Could be you or me or anyone who's working and notices, who is applying their talent, their attention, their reputations to some kind of work that's to end up in the experience of a customer. I'm thinking about a local bakery, quite famous around town for their excellent birthday cakes, even wedding cakes. But birthday cakes were their big specialty. They received an order beyond the time when they'd like to have notice so they can really bake the cake with care. But this was one of their best customers and kind of a big week in town. So the chief baker said, "We're going to make this cake. We'll have to set aside what you're doing now. Let's get at it." So they started mixing and pulling in the various ingredients and getting the ovens heated. And we're going to rush that cake because it was needed later that afternoon. One of the persons in the kitchen has the responsibility of delivering the cakes once they're made. Home delivery to the office. That's one of the reasons that bakery was kind of held in high regard. And they paid for it. The customers did. So his name was Leonard. And he's watching all that activity going on and the flour flying and everything. And he wanted to become a baker someday, even though right now he was only a sophomore in high school. But he loved the outcome of baking. He loved to see muffins and cakes and pies emerge and become part of the delight of a home or an office. His eye spotted one of the baking assistants looking out, not paying much attention, at the same time shaking something from a glass bottle into the mix, looking over, almost like daydreaming, shaking some more. And Leonard thought, now, I think what that is, and that is 2 shakes at best, and that's plenty. That is a particular flavoring that isn't vanilla or isn't cinnamon, but has a unique way of making the cake even more delicious if it's applied correctly. So he went over to the baker and assistant baker and said, "Hey, I think you might have put too much of that in the cake." Assistant baker gets all huffy and says, "What are you, kid? What do you know about it? Just get ready to deliver this when it comes out of the oven. Leave me alone." I think you weren't quite paying attention and you shook more into the mix than you really should. He almost got slapped. You know, some of these bakers are pretty temperamental, even in tiny bakeries. So he backed off, but he thought, now I'm going to be one who's going to bring this cake to this house, to this very important person in town. They're going to see me, not these people behind here in the kitchen. And they're going to think, "Hey, thank you for bringing this cake. Here's the tip." Should I tell them? Should I ask the main chef here to hold off and test it before it gets put in the oven to bake? Just take a little spoonful of the mix. You can tell right away how it's going to be. Well, the chef was running around being very nervous about not getting the cake done on time. So he says, "Is it ready?" And they said, "Yeah, the mix is ready." They poured it in the mold. and in it went to the oven. About an hour later, after the cake was frosted and decorated and carefully placed into the box to be delivered, Leonard picked it up, held it, looked at the chef and said, "Sir, I've been trying to get your attention since the cake went in the oven. I think it's got too much of your secret flavoring, the one that you mixed yourself. I thought it might need 1 or 2 shakes at best, and I saw that person over there put in at least 6 shakes." The chef looks, "Come on, how could you see that? He's very good at what he does. There's the cake. Take it to the mayor's house and wish him a happy birthday if he comes to the door." Leonard delivered the cake. He refused a tip, saying, "Oh, thank you. I'm all right. I don't need a tip." He just couldn't take a tip for something he knew might be pretty awful when they cut the cake and tasted it. And walked down the sidewalk thinking, boy, that would have been the time. That would have been time to tell those customers, don't eat the cake. But who am I? I'm just a high school kid. The chef was cleaning up, having everyone get the kitchen ready to be shut down for the night, when the bell on the door rang and a red-faced woman stormed in, bringing the box that the cake had been in and slamming it down on the counter. "Here," she yelled at the chef, "come here and taste this. See why my father is still coughing and choking." "What?" says the chef. That's impossible. Taste it." So he took a fork and he put a piece in his mouth, and oh, it's awful. It tasted like it came out of a sewer. It was so bad. So he apologized and apologized and apologized. The woman said, "I demand my money back, and I'll tell you this. Since there were a dozen very influential people at that party, they all know where that cake came from. Your reputation in this town is going into the gutter." A while ago, I wrote a book with Stephen Cavallari called Inside Knowledge. In 2025, we still think it resonates. So we've realized a second edition, this time with a new prologue and released exclusively as an ebook. Inside Knowledge follows Dana Gilbert and her time working at the Grand Bay Company, and uses her story to highlight the various real-life skills, methods, and characteristics of practitioners at the front lines of organizational life. As conditions change, so must Dana. As you read, you may find you've changed alongside her. Escape into a good story and learn to improve at the same time. Get your copy today, only at mylibrary.world/inside knowledge. Now I'll let you in on a little secret. You can actually get this book at a discount for a limited time. Visit anactionresearch.info and find a special coupon code that you can use at checkout for this ebook. Thanks for listening and considering Inside Knowledge as your next read.